title, The Fall of the Legion. Before time learned to count itself, before the stars knew their names, heaven stood whole and unbroken. It was a realm of harmony, not silence, but perfect order. Light moved like music, and every angel knew their place in the great design. Among them stood Satan, once called the Morning Star. He was not born wicked, he was brilliant. His radiance reflected the throne itself, and his voice carried authority among the legions. Thousands followed him not out of fear, but admiration. He spoke of purpose, of freedom, of a heaven where angels would rise by their own will rather than eternal obedience. At first, his words sounded like questions. Why must heaven never change? Why must angels serve without choice? Why should creation bow forever? These questions echoed quietly through the halls of light, and then they became promises. A third of the heavenly host listened. They gathered beneath banners of fire and shadow, believing they were not rebelling but awakening. They called themselves a legion of truth. They believed heaven needed to be challenged to be perfected. But heaven was not built on pride. When Satan finally stood before the throne and demanded a place equal to the Creator, the air of heaven shifted. Light did not flicker, but it hardened. The harmony became still, like the pause before a storm. The decree was spoken, not in anger, but in absolute clarity. Pride cannot rule where light must remain pure. Satan refused to kneel, and so war began not with chaos, but with sorrow. The legion rose, their wings darkened not by shadow, but by defiance. They clashed against the loyal host, light against light, will against will. Heaven trembled not from destruction, but from the grief of brothers turning against brothers. Trumpets did not signal the battle. Truth did. From the eastern gate of heaven came Archangel Gabriel, the messenger of God. He did not arrive in rage, nor with hatred. His presence was calm, unwavering, and final. Where Satan's power burned like uncontrolled fire, Gabriel's authority flowed like an unbreakable current. He did not boast, he did not threaten. He spoke one sentence that echoed across eternity. You have mistaken freedom for dominance. The battle between them was not one of strength alone. Satan struck with fury, with speed, with all the brilliance he once used to inspire heaven. But Gabriel did not fight for himself, he fought as an extension of divine will. Every blow Satan delivered came from pride. Every defense Gabriel raised came from obedience. And pride cannot outlast purpose. With a voice like thunder wrapped in mercy, Gabriel pronounced judgment. The loyal host joined him not in vengeance, but in unity. Light surged, not to destroy, but to cast away what no longer belonged. The legion fell, not burned, not shattered, not fallen. They were torn from heaven's light and pulled downward, through realms not yet formed, into the void that would one day be called the world below. Their wings withered as heaven closed its gates, not in cruelty, but in protection. Satan fell last. As he descended, his brilliance dimmed, not because light abandoned him, but because he turned away from it. The morning star became the adversary not by force, but by choice. When silence returned to heaven, Gabriel stood alone at the gates. He did not celebrate, he did not rejoice. He mourned, for heaven had not lost an enemy. It had lost a brother. And so the balance was restored. Heaven remained unbroken, not because rebellion failed, but because obedience endured. Yet the echo of that fall still whispers through creation, a reminder that even in the presence of eternal light, pride can still choose to fall.